Right folks, welcome back. This is sort of part 2 to this little series of videos. We're currently in Tonge Cemetery and we're going to make our way now to Fred Dibnah's grave. And with a bit of luck we'll be able to walk straight to it. If I've done my research okay, Mike?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it was amazing that, wasn't it?
It
Just
was,
going back,
yeah,
you know.
it was. It's something I've never seen.
Yeah.
I never expected to see that.
Now you see, I have a bit of a theory. I can say this now, we're away from Fred Dibnah's house and out of earshot at owner, although he probably watched this video, you know, but I have a theory that the house is actually cursed. And at the back though, again, if people go back and watch the documentaries, he talks about when he was doing the renovation work on that house, of using gravestones.
The lad who did the drawings got carried away, you see, with all this fancy stonework, you know, and stone's expensive stuff. And we had another windfall. We met this vicar who said, you know, I've got all these gravestones here, like, you know, you can have them if you'll shift them. And so, you know, there now are the window heads, the mullions and the window bottoms. The thing is that, you know, I'm a bit worried in case the bloody place will be haunted when it's finished.
I do wonder, with all the bad luck he had regarding marriages, I mean, he had 3 marriages. Even the third wife at the end, she got cut out the will, without going too much into it. And you do often wonder, doing something like that, has it caused problems? Because even the current owner, he can't sell it now.
Yeah.
So you do wonder.
Well, it's the same with, like you say, you look on his house and you see the gargoyles, and you know gargoyles come from churches.
Yeah.
And you don't see many churches for sale.
No.
So there's that aspect about that. Like, I don't know. A church isn't meant for sale, so maybe Fred putting them on his house has made it that way where it's never going to be sold.
I mean, it feels a peaceful place when you're in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it does have to be said, he never found the marital bliss there that perhaps he deserved.
Yeah.
He deserved, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you watch the documentary, he was actually in this cemetery somewhere talking about, in years to come, he'd like to be buried in this cemetery.
Like, when my time comes, you know, I think you couldn't really find a more peaceful and nicer cemetery than this, you know. It's nice and quiet, you know, and they cut the grass regular. Not that you'd notice, like, when you're 6 foot under, but it's much nicer than being turned into a little plastic bag or a tin can full of fag ash. You know?
I found that a bit spooky.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that, you know, be propped up on an headstone and say to myself, one day I'll be in here.
One day I'll be here.
I mean, we all know we're going to end up in somewhere like this, or going to get scattered to the wind, but it does, it's a bit creepy. Now, if I'm right, it should be over that way somewhere. Like I say, there were 2 fellas there, Neil and his son, and I think they were sort of hanging back because I said I knew where he were buried.
Yeah.
But you don't want to end up saying, yeah, okay, well, I know where he's buried, come on, and then we're running round like Eli Wallach in the good, the bad and the ugly.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Sad Hill Cemetery.
Yeah, it's like being looking for that
Stanton.
Yeah, and you're walking around looking for that.
Well, have you spotted it yet?
What's that?
It's his grave.
No.
It's just over there, look.
Ah, is it one with the wheel on? Oh no.
No, it's Right, we'll make our way over here. I think we'll walk up and then... I don't like walking over graves.
I know.
I'm just where you've been brought up.
Yeah. I'm the same.
I know Mick Byrne, one of my other followers, he said when he came here there was spanners and all kinds on here.
I can see it now, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Right then, we'll make our way up there, we'll whip the camera around and we'll take a closer look at his grave and pay our respects to the man, Mike? Yep. And here we are, folks. This is Fred Dibnah's memorial. It just simply reads, a much loved Steeplejack. There's so much more that could be put on there though, isn't there?
There is.
You know, TV personality, after dinner speaker. I mean, we said back there at his house, I think what it was with Fred, he was like everybody's favourite granddad, wasn't he?
Yeah. I like the flat cap and the can of Guinness.
Yeah, like I was telling you, one of my followers said there was a flat cap on there and some spanners and that. They're still here, Mick. And the obligatory can of Guinness. Used to like a can of Guinness, did old Fred. You've got a little bit of a...
Oh yeah, little spanners, huh?
You've got a little stone on there.
Angle stone, yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
and then you've got that one there from Blackpool. So it just shows you that people come from all over. They come from all over to pay their respects. Now, in that documentary, he always said he would have liked somebody to build like a little chimney, and he would have had that as his headstone.
But besides that, I wouldn't mind building my own gravestone, you know, like make one like a chimney with a staging round the top, you know, lightning conductor on and everything. Very fancy, you know, with a beautiful fancy top on it.
So he might be a bit disappointed if he's watching, you know, looking down. Now, we'll go and have a look at his mother's house where he built a chimney when he was 17, and I always thought it looked out of place on a bunch of terraced houses. You'll see when we go and have a look. And wouldn't that have been fitting if they'd have dismantled that and rebuilt it here?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
Seeing as it was his. I know they'd have had to take it down and somebody else would have had to rebuild it. But they could have done that, and I think that would have been more fitting for him. But, you know, the headstone's quite fitting in itself. We found the grave pretty easily, didn't we?
We did, yeah. When you said to me, can you see it? And then he just came out at the thingy like that, man. Do you not think as well, though, if you look how the remember is,
yeah,
it's like the B is a chimney with smoke coming out.
Yeah, I've not noticed that. A little bit closer though, yeah. Actually, you're right, Mike. If you look really close,
it's a chimney.
Well, I wouldn't have noticed that, and I've never known anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, that's a new one. But yeah, anybody who's wanting to find this grave, if you make your way down from that mortuary chapel, which you can't miss as you come through the gates, follow the footpath round, and follow it round until you get to a footpath that's sort of man-made, you know. It's been made with people walking up and vehicles. You make your way along that, and then here it is. Very simple enough to find it. Right then, I think what we'll do now, Mike, we'll before we wrap this video up, I think we'll go and we'll have a pie and we
will. Wow.
Now, like I say, I've had one of these before, and you know, you've never tasted them before, but I think a bit of a fitting tribute to Fred.
Yeah, it will.
So we'll reconvene at Burnham Park Pie Shop.
Yep.
Well, folks, unfortunately, we won't be sampling one of those pies, will we, Mike?
No.
It's closed, unfortunately, Burnham Park Pie Shop. Don't know what's happened there. They should be open, but they're not. I was hoping to get Mike's reaction to them.
Yeah.
You know, but not to worry. So what we'll do instead, just round the corner from Burnham Park Pie Shop, is Alfred Street, which I've covered before in a video. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link up now. And we'll just take a look at the chimney that Fred's built when he was 17 on his mother's house. This is the back's area, as you can see. It's looking a bit worse for wear, this area. You know, but the chimney still remains. I'll whip the camera around now, we'll take a closer look at it and have a little bit of a chat about it. And there we have it, folks. Now the story goes, mate, that his mother nipped out, went to shops, and when she come back, Fred had built that. Now, I'm an ex-brickie myself and labouring for yourself and that, I think that's a stretch, that story, but that's the story that, you know, she nipped out and when she came back she found that on her house. Now, my personal thing, I think that would have looked nice, been took down, like I said, and put on his grave where it was earlier.
Yeah, it would have been.
You know, even if you took the bottom 2-3 foot off it and just had the top bit, the ornate bit, Could have got a plaque on that and it would have looked nice. But yeah, this little row of houses here, this is where his mother used to live, and again, if you've watched that documentary where he was cleaning the chimney, it was that particular house there. Now that's got grade 2 listed status as well, so the owners can't take it down.
Didn't know that.
No, they can't take it down. I'll tell you what, if wind ever blew that over, it'd be a bugger if it fell through that bedroom, wouldn't it? Would you like to take a look round the front of the house? We'll see what it looks like from front. I don't think we'll get invited in this one though, Mike. Okay. There we have a closer look at that chimney. This is from where I did it before with Mrs H, you know, we made that film a while back. Unfortunately that day her camera was a bit fuzzy. So that gives you a clearer look at what that chimney looks like. Anyway, I'll join Mike now and we'll go round to the front of the house. So here we are in Alfred Street, and I'm just going to make my way up here now and take a look at the front of the house. I didn't do that in the last video I did with Mrs H. We didn't bother coming round the front. But this one here, number 8 I think it is. That was the one. Either the number 8 or number 10, one of those two houses, is the one which was Fred's mother's house. You see the chimney peeping out at the top. I have a feeling it's number 8, the house, to be honest. But yeah, this little cobble street here, we've still got some of the old York stone flags down there. Something you definitely don't see a lot of. This is where his mother used to live, and Fred would come down and clean that chimney up there. And it's at side of what's now Asda, but originally that was Burndon Park. Right then, I think me and Mike now, we're going to go and have some dinner, because pair of us are clamped, or hungry. We are clamped, verklempt, or very hungry if you're not from the northwest. Right then folks, me and Mike now, we're going to go and get ourselves a bit of scran, aren't we?
We are, yep.
Unfortunately we couldn't have one of those pies. I'm bummed out over that. I really wanted one of them, but what can you do? What can you do? It's just one of them things. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go and get ourselves a cafe now, and we're going to wrap this video up here. We've fully enjoyed today, haven't we, Mike?
We have, very much, yeah.
Definitely worth coming and having a look at some of those Fred Dibnah locations. They're all within a few mile radius, the ones that I've shown you today. You know, the cemetery, his house. The pie shop is, when it's open. Buggers, I don't know, Burndon Pie Shop, you've let me down, let me down there. And Fred's mother's house. So anyway, have you enjoyed making these films?
I have, yes, I have, Roy. It's been very, very well done.
You're going to be wanting your own channel soon, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it then, I'll end up falling out with you in a little speech. I'll start bad-mouthing you over the internet like somebody did with me. That's another story. Anyway, we're going to get off now. So until the next time.
Bye for now.
Bugger stole my land. See, you just have the camera, Mike, and everything. Have the channel.